After the breakup, I met my lawyer ex with our twins. When Declan Pierce appeared at my door after 7 years, he'd evolved into something sharp and expensive tailored suit, leather briefcase, the kind of presence that made people sit straighter. What hadn't evolved was his approach to communication. I filed the acknowledgement of paternity last week. He handed me a cream envelope with my name in serif font. This is a proposed temporary parenting plan. Status conference in 30 days. I skimmed the document. Shared physical and legal custody, alternating weeks, detailed schedule attached. Of course, he'd formalized it. When can you start? I said. He blinked. Start? Mason has soccer Monday and Wednesday, piano Friday. Madison has art Tuesday, math tutoring Thursday. Kindergarten pickup is 230 sharp. They lock the gates at 245. I smiled. I've had them for 5 years. Your turn. You're serious. Completely 2020. I stepped aside. Want to meet them first, or should I pack their bags? His jaw worked. Whatever argument he'd prepared, tears, custody battle, maternal instinct speeches, this wasn't it. I'd like to meet them. The living room was controlled chaos, building blocks scattered like landmines, a half-completed puzzle of the solar system, 2 tiny pairs of light-up sneakers by the couch. The nanny, Annie, sat cross-legged while the twins used her as a jungle gym. Is less than #0. 3# is greater than. When they saw me, they shrieked and launched themselves at my legs. Mommy! Missed you, missed you, missed you! Declan stood frozen in the doorway, staring at the 2 children who had his jawline, his dark hair, his serious eyebrows currently scrunched in concentration as they tried to climb me. Mason noticed him first. He stopped mid-climb and peered around my leg. Mommy, who's that? I smoothed his hair back. This is your father. Madison's face lit up. Like Thor? Is he a superhero? He doesn't look like Thor, Mason said. Thor has long hair and a hammer. Declan's expression did something complicated, half laugh, half wince. I'm not Thor. Then you're not our dad, Mason concluded with 5-year-old logic. Our dad is a superhero. I caught the flash of hurt in Declan's eyes before he shuddered it. Good. Let him feel a fraction of what I'd felt. Why don't you 2 show your father your rooms? I suggested. Annie, could you help? As the nanny herded the confused children upstairs, Declan turned to me. His lawyer mask had cracked. Evangeline, I didn't know. If I had, save it. I walked to the kitchen, needing distance. He followed. You want to be involved now? Fine. But we do this my way. Which is? You take them this week. Full custody. I'll be available for emergencies, but otherwise, you're on your own. I set the kettle on the burner harder than necessary. Consider it a trial run. 1 week isn't. 1 week is generous considering you've had 0 days for the past 5 years. I faced him. You walked in with a legal document, Declan. You want custody? Prove you can handle it. He proved he couldn't within 18 hours. I was at a spa face mask, hot stones, the works when my phone buzzed. Declan's name flashed. I let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, he called again. What? I answered, keeping my voice low. They won't stop crying. Background noise confirmed it dual wailing at frequencies that could shatter glass. I've tried everything. They want you. I listened carefully. Those weren't distressed cries. Those were manipulative cries. My kids had figured out the power dynamic. They're fine, I said. They're testing you. Don't give in. Evangeline, you wanted this, Declan. Figure it out. I hung up. An hour later, my phone stayed mercifully silent. Either he'd managed it, or Child Protective Services was en route. When I got home that evening, I found Declan's car in my driveway. He stood at my door with both kids, all 3 looking like they'd survived a natural disaster. Madison's hair had escaped its braids and formed a gravity-defying halo. Mason wore mismatched shoes. 1 sneaker, 1 sandal. Declan's white dress shirt had mysterious stains, his tie hung loose, and he'd somehow acquired a juice box sticker on his forehead. We're moving in, he announced. Excuse me? The kids and I... Here. I'm not taking them to my apartment just to bring them back every time something goes wrong. He pushed past me with their overnight bags. Where should I put these? You can't just... But he was already heading upstairs, the kids trailing behind him like ducklings. My brother chose that exact moment to arrive with takeout. He took in the scene strange man in my house, children following him, my shocked expression, and raised an eyebrow. New development? That's their father, I said flatly. Marcus set the food on the table. Want me to kick him out? Not yet. I want to see how this plays out. It played out chaotically. Declan approached fatherhood like a legal case: research, strategy, execution. The execution part needed work. The first morning, he tried to make breakfast. I heard crashes from the kitchen, followed by the smoke alarm. By the time I got downstairs, he'd somehow burned scrambled eggs and set a dish towel on fire. I've got it under control, he said, waving smoke away with a magazine. Mason appeared at my elbow. Is he always like this? Apparently, but Declan was stubborn. He studied Annie's morning routine like case law. He made detailed notes about Madison's refusal to wear anything scratchy, and Mason's elaborate bedtime ritual involving 3 specific stuffed animals in precise order. By day 3, he'd learned to braid Madison's hair. It wasn't the intricate style she preferred, but she accepted it. By day 5, he discovered that Mason would eat vegetables if you called them superhero power fuel. By day 7, both kids called him Daddy. I found myself watching from doorways as he read them bedtime stories, his deep voice turning picture books into performances. Watched him help Mason build an elaborate Lego spaceship, praising engineering choices I knew he didn't understand. Watched him sit on the floor having tea parties with Madison and her stuffed animals, perfectly serious as he discussed the weather with Mr. Fluffington. The shared calendar became a riot of colors, my events in blue, his in green, kids' activities in purple and orange. Neither of us missed a pickup. When I forgot to pack Mason's lunch, I found it on the counter with a green flag. Declan had handled it. When he double-booked Madison's art class, my blue override appeared with a note. Got it. He's good with them, Annie observed one evening as we cleaned up dinner. He's trying, I corrected. Isn't that what matters? I didn't answer. The medical equipment crisis hit on a Tuesday. I was in back-to-back meetings when my assistant Ryan burst in, phone in hand, face pale. We have a situation. 20 minutes later, I sat in my office, watching our company trend on social media for all the wrong reasons. A patient death. Our ventilator. Video footage of a grieving family. How bad? I asked. Bad enough that legal wants to be in the loop on every statement. Ryan hesitated. Your new counsel is already here. Declan walked into my office at 7:58 a.m., coffee in hand, reading glasses perched on his nose. He'd clearly dropped the kids at school and rushed here. Miss Winters. Professional. Distant. As if he hadn't been living in my house, raising my children. I've reviewed the preliminary reports. The ventilator isn't the issue. Prove it. I intend to. We worked side by side for the next 12 hours, barely speaking except to share findings. He moved through regulations and documentation like a shark, finding inconsistencies, building an airtight case that our equipment wasn't at fault. Somewhere around hour 8, he rolled his shoulders and winced. I recognized that wince carrying Madison on one hip and Mason on the other gave you that exact muscle strain. Take a break, I said. So can you. I'm not the one doing bedtime routines on 3 hours of sleep. He looked at me then, really looked. Neither are you anymore. The words hung between us, heavy with implication. Declan. A crash from the hallway cut me off. We rushed out to find a group of men in mourning bands, tattoos visible, aggression palpable. The patient's family, though, their body language screamed, hired muscle. Where's the person in charge? Is less than #0. 3# is greater than the leader demanded. That's me. I stepped forward. How much are you paying? Once the investigation determines fault, he grabbed a decorative vase from the reception desk and hurled it. Everything slowed down. I saw the trajectory, knew it would hit, couldn't move fast enough. Then Declan was there, pulling me back against his chest, his other arm raised. The vase glanced off his forearm and shattered. Blood welled immediately, a dark line across his skin. The office went silent. That's assault, Declan said, voice level despite the blood dripping from his elbow. Witnessed by a dozen people and recorded on security cameras. You can leave now and we'll handle this administratively, or you can stay and deal with criminal charges. They chose to leave. Hospital, I said once they were gone. It's nothing. You're bleeding on my floor? I grabbed his uninjured arm. Move. Ryan appeared with incident forms and a first aid kit. Security already called LAPD. Buildings flagging them from the access list. You'll need to sign the report. I nodded, still focused on getting Declan out. In my car, he finally allowed himself to react, pressing his sleeve against the cut and hissing through his teeth. Why did you do that? I asked. Instinct. Declan, what was I supposed to do, Evangeline? Let it hit you? He turned to face me, eyes bright with something I couldn't name. You're the mother of my children. He stopped. I wasn't going to let you get hurt. The emergency room was crowded. We sat in plastic chairs, surrounded by the universal misery of people who'd had bad days. A doctor called his name young, friendly, with a name tag that read, Doctor. Hayes. Declan Pierce? Is that holy shit? The doctor pulled down his mask, revealing a broad smile. It is you. And Evangeline Winters. This is wild. I drew a blank. Declan sighed. Sebastian Hayes. Med school roommate. Heard you two got back together. Guess the rumors were premature? He examined the cut with practiced efficiency. We're not together, I said quickly. Right. You just came to the ER together. He's bleeding because of you, and there's definitely no lingering feelings. He cleaned the wound. Declan, man, I have to tell you, back in school, you were gone for this woman. Like, pathetically gone. Sebastian, Declan warned. What? I'm just saying, some things don't change. He applied butterfly bandages. You're lucky. No stitches needed, but you'll have a scar. As Sebastian worked, he kept up a steady stream of chatter, reminiscing about college, casually mentioning how Declan had basically become a hermit after I left school. He looked for you, you know, Sebastian said, meeting my eyes. For months. Drove your RA crazy. When he couldn't find you, he went abroad. I think he was running from the city that reminded him of you. Declan stood abruptly. We should go. Wait. I caught his sleeve, the uninjured arm. Is that true? Does it matter? You'd already made up your mind about me. Because I thought you cheated. Vivian showed me a photo of you two at a hotel. What photo? He looked genuinely confused. Sebastian groaned. Oh no. Vivian Montgomery? That explains so much. Declan, tell me you didn't— I never touched Vivian, Declan said flatly. We were at a hotel, yes. With our entire dorm. Christmas Eve, hotels were booked. She offered her uncle's place. We got one room for 6 guys. I was drunk and passed out within 10 minutes. He turned to me. If there was a photo, it was staged. Probably while I was unconscious. The memory hit me then, something I'd found weeks ago while looking for Madison's birth certificate. An old flash drive in a shoebox. Full of college files. I'd seen it a JPG titled Christmas Eve. JPG with metadata showing 2:47 a.m., December 25. A timestamp that proved Declan was passed out drunk, not engaged in anything intimate. And beside it, another file, a group booking confirmation for 6 people, 1 room, split payment. I'd looked at it, puzzled over the discrepancy with what Vivienne had shown me, then gotten distracted by Mason needing help with homework. I'd forgotten about it until this moment. Oh God, I whispered. I found the proof. Weeks ago. The metadata, the booking confirmation. I saw it and just forgot. Declan stared at me. You what? I need air, I said, and walked out before either of them could respond. I didn't go far. Just outside the ER entrance, leaning against the building, trying to process that I'd had exonerating evidence and dismissed it. Declan found me there 10 minutes later. I should have fought harder, he said quietly. When you ended it, I should have demanded to know why. Should have made you tell me what changed. But I was young and proud and hurt, so I let you go. He stood beside me, close but not touching. That's on me. She lied to me. My voice sounded strange. I believed her without asking you. You had reason to. She was always around, always trying. I rejected her, but I never told you that explicitly. I thought it was obvious. He laughed bitterly. Nothing's obvious in college. I was working at KFC that night, I said. Christmas Eve. Triple pay. Saving for your birthday present. The memory felt absurd now. Designer sneakers. I thought if I gave you something expensive, you'd know how much I cared. Evangeline. He finally touched me, just his hand covering mine. I didn't need expensive things. Is less than #0. 3# is greater than I needed you. Past tense. Present tense. Still need you. Will probably always need you. His thumb traced circles on my wrist. The kids need you too. But more than that, I want to build something with you. Not recapture what we had. Something new. I looked at our hands, his covering mine, blood staining his sleeve. I don't know if I can trust you again. Then let me earn it. He squeezed gently. I'm already living in your house, raising our children, showing up at your workplace. Let me keep showing up. No pressure, no expectations. Just let me stay. He stayed. At first, we were awkward, too polite, too careful. But the kids forced normalcy. They didn't care about our complicated history. They just wanted breakfast and help with homework. Declan made breakfast. He'd graduated from burning eggs to passable omelets. I handled the evening chaos. We tag-teamed bedtime he read to Madison, while I helped Mason build increasingly complex structures. One evening, I found him on the balcony where I used to hide my cigarettes. He'd discovered the spot, but instead of cigarettes, he'd stashed a bottle of decent whiskey. Want some? He offered me the glass. I took it, let the burn settle. The medical equipment case cleared. Investigation confirmed mechanical failure had nothing to do with our ventilator. I know. I saw the report. We couldn't have done it without you. I paused. I couldn't have done it without you. N. Partners. He said simply. We stood in comfortable silence, passing the glass back and forth, watching the sunset. Mason asked me today if you were staying forever, I said. Declan went very still. What did you tell him? That I didn't know. That it was complicated. I turned to face him. But I'm tired of complicated Declan. These past few weeks, having you here, it's been good. The kids are happy. I'm happy too. Evangeline, I'm not saying let's get married tomorrow. I'm not even saying let's officially date. But maybe we could stop pretending this is temporary? He set down the glass and cupped my face in both hands, thumbs brushing my cheekbones. I would like nothing more. The kiss was inevitable. Gentle at first, relearning each other, then deeper, more urgent. 7 years of longing compressed into one perfect moment. We broke apart when we heard giggling. 2 small faces peered around the doorframe. Mommy and Daddy are kissing. Madison announced. Mason made exaggerated gagging noises. Gross! But he was smiling. 2 weeks later, everything threatened to collapse. I was reviewing quarterly reports when Ryan burst into my office. Laptop open, face ashen. Someone leaked edited CCTV footage, he said. It makes it look like our maintenance team tampered with the ventilator logs. My stomach dropped. Show me. The clip was surgical in its deception timestamps cropped, context removed, damning implications clear. Within an hour, it was viral. Within 2 hours, the FDA was calling about a potential recall. This will destroy us, Ryan said. Declan walked in, already on his phone. He'd seen it too. Conference room. Now. We need the full maintenance records and the original security footage. For the next 6 hours, we worked like we were defusing a bomb. Declan pulled the complete maintenance logs documentation, showing not tampering, but meticulous, proper calibration. I got our security team to provide the unedited footage with verified timestamps. But there was a problem. To release the full maintenance records, I'd be disclosing client-protected work product, Declan said quietly. It could get me disbarred. I stared at him. Don't do it. If I don't, your company goes under. The recall alone would. I won't let you sacrifice your career for this. He met my eyes. What's a career compared to your life's work? Compared to our kids' future? Declan, I'm doing it. He turned to Ryan. Get me the press list. We're getting ahead of this. The press conference was scheduled for 6 p.m. I stood at the podium, Declan beside me, and laid out everything: the full maintenance records, the unedited footage, the evidence that someone had deliberately tried to frame us. We don't know who's behind this, I said. But we know what the truth is. Our equipment was functioning properly. The death was a tragedy, but it wasn't caused by our ventilator. Questions flew. Declan fielded the legal ones with precision. I handled the technical specifications. We moved like we'd been doing this for years, passing the microphone back and forth, finishing each other's thoughts, a united front. When it was over, Ryan pulled me aside. The FDA is satisfied. No recall. And social media's already turning. They're calling you transparent and calling out whoever leaked the fake footage. I found Declan in my office, tie loosened, exhaustion written across his face. "You didn't have to do that," I said. "Yes, I did." He looked up at me. "I told you I was staying." I meant it. I crossed the room and kissed him. Not gentle this time. Desperate, grateful, full of everything I couldn't say. When we broke apart, he was smiling. "What was that for?" "For showing up," I said. "For keeping your promises. For being the person I always hoped you were." He pulled a small box from his jacket pocket. "I was going to wait. Make it romantic, plan something elaborate." "But I'm tired of waiting, Evangeline." The ring was modest but beautiful, a single diamond, elegant and understated. "Marry me," he said. "Not because of the kids, not because it's convenient. Marry me because I love you. Because I've loved you for 7 years, even when I was trying not to. Because I want forever, and I want it with you." I didn't hesitate. Yes. 3 months later, Vivian Montgomery showed up at my office. She looked exactly as I remembered, polished, expensive, beautiful. But there were cracks now, fine lines around her eyes, brittleness in her smile. "Congratulations on your engagement," she said, eyeing the ring. "I heard through the alumni network." "Thank you." I wanted to apologize. The words came out stiff. For what I did in college. It was cruel, and I've regretted it for years. I studied her, looking for sincerity. Found some, mixed with pride and lingering resentment. Why now? Because I'm getting married too. And I realized I've been holding on to something that was never mine. She met my eyes. "Declan loved you then. He loves you now. I thought if I could just get you out of the way, he'd eventually see me. But he never did." "No," I agreed. "He didn't. You're lucky. Finding someone who loves you like that." She glanced away. "I hope you appreciate it this time." After she left, I sat thinking about luck and choices and the thin line between them. Lucky that Declan came back. Lucky that he'd persisted. But it wasn't just luck. It was work. Daily, unglamorous work, splitting custody schedules, managing meltdowns, showing up even when it was hard. That evening, I came home to find Declan attempting to cook dinner while simultaneously helping Madison with art homework and stopping Mason from using the living room as a skateboard park. "I've got Mason," I said, redirecting our son towards safer activities. "And I've got this masterpiece," Declan said, gesturing at Madison's painting of our family. 4 stick figures holding hands, a house with a crooked chimney, a sun with excessive rays. Though I think she made me too tall. "You are too tall," Madison said seriously. "You don't fit in my drawings." After dinner, after bedtime routines, after the house settled into quiet, Declan and I collapsed on the couch together. "Vivian came to see me today," I said. He tensed. "And?" She apologized. Sort of. In a self-serving way that was still somehow genuine. "Do you forgive her?" I considered it. "I don't think I need to. She didn't ruin us. We did that ourselves by not communicating. She just accelerated the timeline." I shifted to look at him. "But I do need to forgive myself. For believing the worst of you. For not fighting for us? Hey." He pulled me closer. "We were kids. We made mistakes. We get a second chance not many people do. We're not wasting it. Absolutely not." Epilogue. 6 months later, we got married in a small ceremony with just family and close friends. Sebastian was Declan's best man and spent his entire speech roasting both of us. The twins served as ring bearer and flower girl, taking their duties so seriously that Madison refused to scatter petals. "They're too pretty to waste." Mommy and Mason temporarily lost the rings but found them in his pocket exactly when needed. When the officiant asked if we took each other, both kids shouted, "They do!" before we could answer, causing everyone to dissolve into laughter. At the reception, Mason pulled Declan aside with utmost seriousness. "Daddy, now that you and Mommy are married, does this mean we have to be good all the time?" Declan crouched to his level. "What do you think?" Mason considered this. "I think we should have a trial period. Like when you first moved in. See how it goes." "That's very wise." Declan struggled to keep a straight face. "How long should the trial period be?" "Forever," Mason decided. "We'll try forever and see if it works." Later, as we slow danced while our children ran circles around us with their cousins, Declan leaned down to whisper in my ear. "Your son just gave us a lifetime trial period." "Our son," I corrected. "And I think we can handle that." Together? Together. The music swelled, our children laughed, and for the first time in 7 years, everything felt exactly right. The end.